Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 20 of the 2025 AFL Supercoach season. So, what would normally be an okay week with a 24-24, decent score. Unfortunately was only good enough for the top 38% of the league, given there was some monster scores this week. I think number one for the round was over 3,000, which is insane. But it has seen us continue to slide down the slippery pole another, let's call it 3,000 spots. And we are projecting to be outside the top 60k by the end of the season. So we won't dwell too much on my team. We might have a look at some of the more successful teams going around. But I guess just quickly, we do have Geordie Clark only getting a 71, was a bit flat. She's with 99 is about par, so that's okay. McKercher with 106 rather, continues to impress. Callum Mills with a 125 at his price is awesome. Fryer with 53, can't wait for the end of the season to never pick him again. Tom McCarthy though continuing to carve it up with a 96, a great late season buy for us and most of the league, let's be honest. Carroll and McDonald on the bench, 39 and 49. So I guess we did pick right with Fryer. So I can't be too upset about that. In the midfield, we had Bont as our VC in a 169, but I guess just given the state of the team, I was a little bit absent-minded and didn't think to switch the C to loop him in. So unfortunately we didn't get that double score, which did cost us 50 points in the end, or 58, 57. I'll do some maths there. Dacos with 177 was massive as well. Butters with 124 was good. Callahan 145 was fantastic. Brayshaw with the 112 is nothing to sneeze at as captain, but obviously again we missed out on 57 points by not flicking it to the Bont. Merritt with the 92, I guess probably somewhat targeted in the Essendon team given there's no one else left for them. Clary with 105 was good though. And Noddy with the 51. I mean, we'll just take what we can get at this point. Max Gawn with 146 is great in the ruck. Unfortunately doing it solo this week. And then the forward line, so the big guns, Jacko with a 123. Bailey Smith with the 156, Darcy with the 150 was fantastic, and then Daniel with a 66 was a bit under par. Hewitt with 65 is about what he's been averaging, and then Shanahan with just the 15, but we don't have too many choices. I did see Simpson played the waffle this week, so hopefully he's back this week. Not that particularly helps us with, no Cherry and the like. And TDK with the 66, now that he's playing a bit more forward, is, not ideal. So in terms of the game day this week, got done by Motlop's crew, Corey's team, with a 25-32. So for the win, he had Whitfield with 110, Noah Anderson with the 128, and I think Matt Rowell went really well in that game as well. So still ruining the Took Miller trade. Neil with a 119 was good. Sarong turned up. Sinclair with a 132 was really good as well. But I was smart enough to VC Bont, so take that. So that was possibly the difference, although not quite 90 points, so I probably still would have scraped a win there. But having a look through the league, looks like the top scorer was Jim's team, Kick Ass, with a 28-13, which is a big score. So he had George Hewitt ton up, had Darcy Grundy with a 137, Max Holmes with a 130, Dawson turned up, Nass with a 162, Wood with a 106. I think he's pretty cheap as well. Oh, not so much. No, not the guy I was thinking of from, I think I was thinking of Hall actually from the Saints. It was a cheapie who's done well. Track with a 108. VC Bont. Had Dacos, Gorn. Had Smith, Sinclair. So, lots of big scorers there. Like the lowest score was the 60s for the two Geelong guys. So that's pretty handy. I guess we'll just have a quick look at some other players that went big. Probably covered a lot of them. But a couple of big forwards, Jeremy Cameron, Riley Philthorpe with 160s each. Aaron Norton, another forward, scored well with 153. Matt Rowell with the 143. As I said, I know he went well. So, I think we're close to about 400 points down on that trade in 3 weeks, which is pretty flat. Grundy, well done if you could get him, because he's killing it. Just some sort of different kind of picks here with Loston, Baker, Davies. Himmelberg has been somewhat relevant in the past, but averaging 88 this year, so not the best pick. Sicily with a 130. Jordan Sweet, so he backed up his 200 with a 125. So 486k, negative 35 break even. Well done if you've been on him for the last couple of weeks. How much cash has he made in that time? So he's made 150k in the last 2 weeks, and as I said, negative break even going into this week. Murphy Reed. He was I think, was he a cheapie to start the year? Yeah, he was. 230k, 121. Might have kicked a little bit more cash gen. Not that we're too worried about cash gen at this time of year. But yeah. Although I guess for those that might be interested, just quickly on the break even. So Madden's still there. So the top guys all sort of not really playing at the moment. But Neil Bullen with a 117 this week reset his break even to negative 43. Jordan Sweet would be the next one on that list. After that, Teakle, I think he's playing in the ruck for Cherry, so you probably only get 1 week of cash gen out of him. So probably not worth worrying about. Buderick with a 90 reset in his break even, but averaging 46 is not ideal. Yeah, nothing too much to write about there, so I don't think it's really worth worrying about. But rather than look at my team, what we'll do is we'll look ahead to other teams, because we're into the head-to-head finals. And so ironically enough, in the bottom half of the draw, I'm playing Motlot's crew again this week. So I think I've got 1 game, and that's me done for the year. But we'll focus more so on the top 8. So looking at the main league, I'll get there eventually. So we've got Shano with his top ups team playing against City Sushi, Lee's team. So I know they've both been pretty competitive this year, obviously being 1st and 4th overall in the league. You got East Valley United, Matt's team, up against the Milkers in the bottom half of that section. Just Torpet and Scoregasms, Noah and Fab's team. And then Tommy Gun Powell and Hedges, Lachlan's team, in the other, I guess, qualifying final, I suppose you would call that. In terms of total points, so let's have a look. So Reno number 1 as well overall, sitting 275th overall this week on a 2762. So great stuff there, Shane. Matt was 2nd overall, so a bit of a tough run in the head-to-head, getting I think it was 5th, wasn't it? But great head-to-head season there. It's still in the top 1,000, so hopefully you can keep that spot there, Matt. So Tommy Gun Powell. So Jason's Raiders will be a bit stiff, coming 4th in the overall, and don't think he features. It came 12th in the head-to-head. Oh, unlucky Jace. We've all had those seasons from time to time, so I feel ya. City Sushi, Noah, Gift Built, and Michael's team sitting 5,000th overall, but couldn't get the top 8 unfortunately. So just trying to work out. So 9th and 10th. So I think it was just those two, Jason and Michael, that So 8 out of the top 10 in the major finals. So I think that's a pretty fair sort of indication of the league. And I guess you look through positions. What's that? 6 to 10. There's only about 1,000 overall ranks in between. About 100 points. So I think that's worked out pretty well. But as I said, just unlucky for Jace that being 1,000 points ahead of Fab, for example, wasn't enough on head to head. And so I don't know how I've squeezed into the final series, coming 18th in the overall shake-up, but squeezed into 16th. So unlucky to those who didn't get in the bottom half here. But yeah, we'll probably pay a bit more attention to this over the next few weeks than this, because honestly, there's not a lot we can do here. We've got one more week before Cherry comes back. Hopefully, Zeke Miller's back soon, but the Suns are doing good, so they may not rush him back. So I think at the moment we just run it as is. Obviously, Miller will come in if he is available. I think if Simpson does get back in the AFL, he'll obviously come in for Shanahan. But that's about it in terms of moves. In terms of trades, quickly having a look. So there's a bottom dollar forward, Liam McMahon. I didn't really see him on the list, but he's on the bubble this week, back-to-back 42s. So that's really just a cash grab slash emergency type option. Farah, so I guess if you're looking to do something like that in defense, makes sense, or for an 80 to begin with. But I think Nas, definite target if you can afford. Cameron, obviously you're playing for upside. What's his draw like? Port, Essendon, Sydney. So a couple of nice matchups against Essendon and Richmond. I don't think Port's been going too flash either. So, and it's at Geelong. So probably just Sydney and Sydney might be the tricky one there. But I don't hate that as a bit of a pod move. Whitfield is a keeper, so a bit more fairly priced than Nas at the moment. So I don't hate any of those trades. But just captain, vice captain, so pretty straightforward. VC, Thursday night, Marvel, Bont, lock that in. And then in terms of captain, there's a couple options. I'm leaning towards Gawn up against Matt Flynn. Kind of makes sense. They may also use this as an opportunity to rest him. I'm not too sure. Outside of that, Dacos at the MCG against the Lions could be up for a big one. If you've got Nas against North, probably easy one there. Bailey Smith if you're looking to go a bit risky, or the Freo guys at home to Carlton. But I guess they do tend to chew into each other's points a bit, so you just got to pick the right one there. I guess if you've got Matty Rowell against Richmond, could fill up as well. So yeah, but that's the way I'm going at the moment. Bont into Gawn. Try to pay a bit more attention on Friday to make the move there. But that's about all we can do. I might just throw these emergencies on just in case something happens and they do play and I can't get around it. But yeah, we'll wrap the video up there. So as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the AFL content. I guess the other thing too, if you're like me and you're out of trades and out of hope, the EPL is now available. So I'll put the links for those leagues in the description. Obviously subscribe for all those videos and all the other content on the channel. But other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.